Okay, welcome back to the podcast. This time around, I am in London with a dear friend of mine who I have been chatting to over the last few months and got to know on a very deep level as a friend. Kirk Norcross, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. We've been speaking for a while now, so it feels like I know you.
Yeah.
I normally get nervous on podcasts, but we've spoke a lot. You've done a lot lately, haven't you?
I have done a lot, and that's one thing that we will get into about trying to keep busy and trying to basically find happiness in places. Like I told you, I used to live in Australia and my life on Instagram was picture perfect, and I am trying to show that you can be happy anywhere and just even be able to come over here in London and spend a couple of hours with you. It's really exciting to see new things.
It's good. Yeah, no, honestly, I appreciate you having me on. I can't remember. I think I just see your Instagram page. Did we reach out to each other?
I reached out to you. I saw your podcast with Dapper.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah.
That was it, yeah. And you said you like the...
Yeah, because I mean, I've known you from TV for a long, long time, like so many others. And I saw a very different side to you because obviously TV portrays one side of things.
Yes.
And it was just really interesting to see you're very educated in many different respects, like in terms of walks of life, but also some of the topics that you cover, I wouldn't think you would be interested in, like politics and conspiracy theories. And there's so much more to Kirk that meets the eye.
I'm a walking contradiction, really.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I believe in science and listen to politics, I'm very much against it. And I'm a big conspiracy theorist as well.
Yeah.
But when people say they've seen me on TV and they're like, oh, you've changed, I've just grown up. You know, I haven't changed. You know, some of the people that I was on TV with, they were more mature than me at that part of their life. I wasn't. I was a young gun. I was erratic, spontaneous. So I don't believe I've changed. I think I'm still not there 100%. I've just found out who I am, what I like, and what I don't like.
So what age were you when you started getting into TV?
I think I was 19.
That's
19,
young.
Yeah, so there was so much that happened at that part of my life, and I can't blame anyone for my actions and who I used to be, because you've got to be responsible for your own actions, physical or verbal, you know, or the mental actions that you think about yourself. But I grew up, and it's not a sob story, you know, everyone in my estate went through, but I went through the same. But I grew up in the council estate, me, my mum, and my older brother, and I mean it was bad, like real bad, like just pure. Families living on benefits, friends lending money to friends, and you know, my mum would be lending her benefits to the next door neighbour, and then vice versa when they get them. But it wasn't hard. It was hard, but I didn't know any different. That was our life, you know. As well as we was very poor, we was very happy.
Yeah.
We had a community, you know, and I still love that. I hate calling that council estate vibe because that's home to me, you know. I still feel more at home now. Not long ago, when I was with a friend, he said, I've got to go see someone. And we was in a council house, just chilling out, you know, typical council house, you know, not dirty, not clean, just a normal lived-in house. And I was so relaxed, just so comfy. Do you know what I mean? And even my mate was like, "You all right in here?" I was like, "Man, this is me. This is what I grew up with." But then at the age of, I think, 18, 19, I never really got on with my father, and he then just pulled me out of this council estate. And I'm not lying, it went from not having money to buy trainers or any clothes. I couldn't just go, oh, I want them and get them. Like, we were very poor. I was working in a clothes shop, and my dad just, I got into a bit of trouble, a bit of violence when I was 18. That could have went either way, really. And I think my dad, I was always a bit of a troublemaker growing up, but the violence that I got into when I got a little bit older, it was a bit dangerous in a sense. I mean, not mean like, you know, just kids being kids, you know. We were 17, 18. And my dad just pulled me out of that. And my dad was wealthy from the age of, I was about 14. But I still lived with my mother in the council estates, in hostels and stuff like that. And then my dad just pulled me out when I got into trouble. And I went from, like, the council estate to...
Richie Rich.
Crazy. And I never wanted it. I respect it, but I wish I never had it because there was no transition period. I mean, it was just like...
Overnight.
Honestly, overnight. From 1 minute I would have to work. I was working in a shopping mall called Lakeside in a clothes shop. And my life, honestly, I thought the highest I would ever get in life is maybe being manager of a clothes store, which ain't bad, but that was my goal. That was the bubble I was living in. And my dad just pulled me out. He just bought a nightclub. Right, boom, you're working in a nightclub. I used to work in my dad's nightclub, Sugar Up, for years. Never got paid, but my dad just made sure I was happy, you know. A lot of people see it that I was living off my dad, but I was still working behind the scenes with my dad. If he needed anything done, either it be me working in the nightclub to, Kirk, you need to drive to London, take this to the solicitors, do that, and you need to go to the bank for me, or just being a son, so I never wanted money. And it was crazy. It was a mad transition. Like,
what do you think it did for you? Like, do you feel like in a very negative way it changed you very quickly? Did you start to take things for granted? Were you treating people differently? Or how do you think that led a path to being on, you know, the likes of the TV and stuff?
Yeah, I don't think I treated anyone different. I avoided certain areas because when going from a council estate to then my dad saying, boom, I'll buy you your first car, you're working for me, giving me money to buy nice clothes. I felt bad going back to the council estate. Like, I remember I went once to see my friends and I had a nice car and someone rang me up after and said, oh, so-and-so was saying, oh, you flash prick coming in your car. That was my only car. Like, I was going to see my pals and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to go back because... And then everyone said, oh, Kirk's now stopped coming back because he's got money. It wasn't.
Can't win.
I couldn't win. So, but it was hard. And yeah, I might have changed, but I wasn't aware of it. And it was weird. And I've always felt this until recently. So growing up in a council estate environment, I didn't fit in with this new rich lifestyle that I was in because I still had a council mentality. But now I had money and a money lifestyle, I couldn't fit in with my old council estate lot. So I was in limbo and it was hard. It was hard, you know, and then I didn't have nothing to do. I was bored. I was working in the nightclub, which it wasn't hard, but it's a lot working in a nightclub. So I had to work in there all day in the office. And then Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, back in the office on Monday. And I think it did change me then, owning a nightclub. Before my father bought the nightclub, we used to go in there as customers. And I'd never get no attention off anyone in there. I mean, the first weekend my dad bought that club, some of the bar staff are coming on to me. The regular girls that had never even looked at me twice are now coming on to me.
Interesting.
But I went with it. I went with it. I was young. I was single, and but then I started getting fake friends, and I thought I was a very popular person until we had a unfortunate fire in the nightclub, which put us out of business for a year, and it was hard. It was hard. I was then without a job. My dad was out of an income.
Yeah.
And this huge group of friends that I had for years, I didn't have when the club burnt down.
Isn't that interesting?
And that's when I realised that was on my own, in a sense. Not on my own, but choose to be on your own, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, then the TV, overnight thing, I got asked to go on a TV show.
Was it an instant yes? Or did you consider it?
I'll tell you what, my mentality at that age was I love money and I love females.
Yeah.
Okay? And the minute you think of TV, you think, oh, you're going to get a load of money and get a load of girls. I was bored. I could still work in the nightclub as well. So I didn't have to change my routine to be on The Only Way is Essex. I was avidly filmed working in Sugar Hut. So I could still do that. And then, yeah, just stuff got the better of me. I started losing the identity. I didn't lose my identity of who I was. My dad buying a nightclub, me coming into money, and Towie within the space of a year or two didn't give me enough time to find out who I was. So I was just some confused young adult, didn't know, and I just went west, you know. It was just, you know, I was going with the moment, but the wrong moment, you know.
Yeah.
Now me going with the moment is completely different to going with the moment when I was in like my early 20s. Was like, I'll go with the moment. Yeah, we go book holiday now. Go. What? Drugs, drink, girls, partying. That was me. That was life then. That was going with the moment, and it wasn't. That wasn't. You know, it's look. If people can do that, great, good on them. But me, with my mentality, I should have knuckled down, invested, and sorted myself out.
But, you know, we look back at these things and we are older now. But for anyone listening who doesn't know what The Only Way is Essex is, which I couldn't say that anyone wouldn't at this stage. But when you were on it, like, that was primetime TV. Like, to what it is now, maybe a little bit different. There's so many other reality shows out there, but that was huge. So to be put on that pedestal at such a young age and put into that success at a really young age, I just think it must have had a lot of pressures that come with it. Did you at any stage, you know, very quickly on think, what have I done? Or did anyone catch you off guard or say something very soon on that made you think, I'm not sure if this is for me? Because like the likes of the Love Island and stuff, right? It's only now that they're starting to think we really need to help those people after TV. You know, there was none of that coaching or mentality of, are they okay outside of the screen, or who's handling their mental health? Did you find that there was any times during it where it was heavy going, or did you just lap it up, love it?
Well, I can't blame the TV show, because you've got the likes of Mark Wright, Joey Essex, Amy Charles that were started the same time as me, was doing the same scenes that I was doing, and look at them. They're amazing. Their career, let's just take Mark Wright for instance. Great what he done. He had in his head what he wanted to accomplish in life. I think he's accomplished that and more. You know what I mean? So I can't blame no TV for the way that I've acted in life, what pressure it's put me on. But they knew where they wanted to go. So I didn't. And I took it. The main thing that was pressure for me was the verbal abuse I used to get on Twitter. But it was my own fault, man. You know, like Towie was filming my life. And at that time in my life, I was buying myself nice cars. My dad was buying me cars. I was buying my dad cars. We were going out in helicopters. That was our life. I wasn't doing anything for a show. That was our life. But you've got people sitting indoors that are not fortunate other people watching some young prick called Kirk going in a helicopter. It looks like he's getting everything off his dad. I can't blame them now for giving me some abuse. I don't think they should have. But I can't blame them because I wasn't showing them any other side of me. But it's only because Towie couldn't film every second of my day. They might have seen an episode of my dad taking me out in a helicopter, but they wouldn't have realised all the work that my dad would have made me do that day. Right, Kirk, we're going to look in a helicopter because we're going to look at this business. You need to plan what route. You need to... Like, I remember after we shot an episode in a helicopter, my dad then, when we went home, he gave me a pen and paper and said, you need to write out how many commercial places you've seen, roughly how many residential homes you think you've seen. You know, so even though that was business. Fun, I'd go back and still work, and I'd be like, my dad always used to talk to me, the reason you go look at stuff from a bird's eye view, chimney pots. Every chimney pot is going to have a minimum of one person in that house. So if you're going to put a business that you need customers, you want as many chimney pots as you want, you know. But Towie are not going to want to film that because it's boring me sitting at a fucking office desk with my dad having a go at me. But that really got to me, and there was no change in the public's opinion on me. So I just went with it. Yeah. You know, if you call someone a villain long enough, they're going to play the villain. And I just went with it. I just got lost, and I thought, you know what? If this is people's perception of me, just go with it. That was it. And it did put a lot of pressure on me. But I can't blame Twitter. I can't blame The Only Way is Essex or TV in a whole. Because Mark Wright, Joey Essex, Amy Charles, Sam Fairs, they would have got the same stick as me, okay? And they're fucking doing amazing. Yeah. You know? I just don't think I was in the right place at that time in my life. That was all.
Of course. And I don't think you've done anything wrong. Like, I'm just asking about TV. I think that, you know, we all make mistakes in life. The only difference was you were on camera. I thought you were portrayed very well. I think you're a bit of a ladies' man. How much of the friendships and the relationships were real? Were
all real. All
mad.
Real. I had some great friendships on that show. Yeah, really good. You know what? Like, so when you were filming, I hate keep talking about. Well, I want to, but I don't want people to think, oh, look, he's still living on Towie, still living on Towie.
No, we're moving on.
No, we can talk about it. I just don't want people to think that that's all I'm hung up on. But when we were filming Towie, say the original cast, say there was about 6 of us. Yeah. We were a family. There was no other cast members on there. That was a bubble, and we were great. Look, I didn't get on with some of them, but look, me and Mark Wright always had a load of conflicts. But you know what? When we were doing some photo shoots or something, say from OK Magazine, me and Mark always have a little laugh. Do you know what I mean? Because at that time, probably different now, but we had sort of similar personalities. We were both into the nightclub game, like the girls like the partying. But you know what? If you put too many people close to each other for a long amount of time, some people will rub each other up the wrong way. But yeah, the friendships I had were great. The friendship I had with Joey Essex was great. You know, it was like a brother, a dream brother relationship. Do you know what I mean? And the relationships that I had with girls on there, it's hard because the first stages of dating should be between you and the person you're dating. You should be keeping it private, learning about them. And I'm dating people on The Only Way is Essex, and I ain't learning about them. All I'm thinking about is how I look. That ain't, you know, when you date someone, nothing should be about you.
Yeah.
It's always about the other person. But, you know, image was a big thing for me on there. Where I grew up, sort of, didn't really have class or style growing up because it wasn't in my area. And then when I'm now in this TV industry, I got to worry about, I've got to go buy clothes for this. Do I look good? Do I look good? Like, Mark Wright, he's a very handsome. I've seen him wearing a fucking onesie and looking great before. Do you know what I mean? But me, I was very self-conscious about my looks and my appearance, and I didn't want to tell anyone because at that point they're like, well, what, you acting like a girl? Like, we all struggle with our appearance, you know. I know some very handsome guys that I grew up with that deep down they really struggled with their appearance, but the friendship was great, Caroline, on there, and I'm gutted that I'm not friends with. None of us fallen out. We just drifted apart. Obviously, I come away from TV and they carried on that career. My life is not the same as theirs. Do you know what I mean? So I can't blame anyone for not talking to me or me not talking to them. Yeah,
life moves on. I want to ask about your own struggles. You have been on Dapper's podcast before and a couple of times, and you have done amazing about talking about your own struggles. Yeah, you're amazing. I think, you know, even just coming from where I come from in Ireland, I know it's the same in England, men don't really talk, and to have someone your age, you know, of your class, and, you know, lads that look up to you, to know that you've been through some difficult times yourself. Without going into it too much, because I know you've already talked about it a lot, what was it, you know, where was the moment where you thought, shit, I have a problem here? Or did you not know for a long time? Were people trying to tell you that you had an addiction? Was it just part of the everyday life of, you know, life after Towie and where you went to next?
Well, first of all, Dapper Laughs podcast, Menace of Sobriety, is a game changer. And it really is. It was so good to open up on his podcast because it helped me out a lot. I think it's helped Daniel O'Reilly out a lot. But the amount of messages I'm getting from guys that are your geezers saying, Kirk, thank you so much. I've watched you and Daniel and it's really helped me out. But now, listen, again, I can't blame TV or anything for my drug taking and drug using.
No.
As I said, I never fitted into any thing. Like, I didn't fit in with a council estate. I didn't fit in with a rich lot. I was so at limbo. And at that time of my life, drugs just took me out of myself. I didn't think. When I was on drugs, there was no thought process. I just did not think, and it was a quiet time for Kirk. And I believe Tom Hardy saying loneliness is scary, being on your own, because it can become an addiction. So every time I'd done drugs, I was alone, which I wanted to. And it was then that I got addicted to that feeling. And to get that feeling, it was only drugs that used to get me there.
Yeah.
You know, I could have just gone on holiday. Took a spa break, but yeah, drugs, no one's fault. I generally believe addicts are born as an addict. You know, I have grew up with people that started using drugs the same time as me. They used them once, never done them again. You know, it's I'm not ashamed of it. It's who I was, but I always knew it was a problem because it just changed who I was. It changed everything about me. All of my good attributes and traits that people would compliment me on, the drugs just took that fucking way. Why am I doing that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't go to war, and just before you go to war, take off your armour and your shield and everything and say, oh, that's the only thing that survived you. And my attributes and traits were the only good things that were getting me on in life. And I always knew it was a problem, but there was a couple of physical snaps that got me off it, but it was my kids were the main reason, you know. To be honest, I think if I didn't have kids, I would have just carried on and ended up dying from drugs. That's the truth. It ain't a sob story like, oh, my kids saved my life. My kids didn't save my life. I stopped my drugs because of that. But yeah, it was a slippery spiral. And again, I do love plugging it. But Menace of Sobriety, Dapper Laughs. Like, anyone that's struggling, please watch. Not just the podcast I'm on. I'm a small part of that podcast. And it's not just a podcast that Dan's been working on. He's been doing this in the background on Facebook. He's got a Facebook page called Men and Their Emotions. And Jesus Christ. This guy, Dan, is one of the busiest guys I know, and he sits still, takes time and deals with other addicts that he don't know. The same with what you're doing. You're very busy, and we're going to talk about how busy you've been, right? But you're still taking time to help people out. And, you know, I'm here, I'm clean, I'm in a great place at the moment. I'm in a fucking fantastic place. Probably the best place I've ever been in my life, ever.
Yeah. Oh, well, congratulations. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And I love everything that you're doing on your Instagram. I just think it's lovely to see someone influence people in the right way.
Yes.
And we will talk about that, and influencers and people that you want your son and daughter to look up to later in life. Like, what is it they actually do? And I just think it's really nice to see you talk about these things online. And every time your stories and videos come up, I'm like, what would I like my kids one day to see? And it's the likes of you. So I think you're doing amazing things.
Thank you.
And like I said, and you said about, it's not TV that gets you into these situations. One of my best friends I've told you about, who is struggling with addictions himself at the minute, and it's very hard from the outside. And you and I had this conversation before we went online about, he has everything to live for.
Yep.
He is, good looking guy, has money, works hard, and he can't be saved. We're all here ready to support him. And you said that, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah, you have to. I've had people really try and help me. My brother, my son's mother, my partner at the time, crying because I was just such a mess. You know what I mean? And I couldn't. I wanted to, but you need a mental snap, a break, and you're like, it's like having sounds a weird analogy, having a dirty mirror for 10 years of your life, and then you finally just walking into that mirror again and it's clean and you can see all the destruction that you've made. You're going to tell me that you fucked this up, you fucked that up, but all I'm going to take as an addict is you're just moaning at me. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I know I've got issues. Stop pointing them out, but you're only trying to help. But but with anyone, your friend, it's all you can do is be there. Just tell them. You can't tell them what they've messed up, but you just got to say you're using much. It's changing you of who you are. That's when I think I realised when I was different. I didn't have money and I'm asking to borrow money off people for drugs.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't me. Like, and I think, that was when I knew, like, near the end of my addiction. I'll always be an addict. You'll never change that. When I'm parked up in my car, ringing people I ain't rung up in fucking months or years. Listen, I know I ain't spoke to you, but making up weird excuses. Just drop me bank card down the fucking drain. I'm in Tesco. That ain't me. Stop it, Kirk. Do what you've got to do. Ask everyone for help. Stand on the top of Big Ben and shout out, can anyone help me? And I run to my GP and asked him for help, and he pointed me in the right direction.
Amazing.
CA, Cocaine Anonymous.
You talked about the moment you looked in the mirror and you kind of saw a totally different person.
Yeah.
Was that the moment that made you snap?
That was it. That's what made me run to the hospital, to the doctor, sorry. I remember I was just having a wee, looked in the same mirror on the toilet, next to the toilet. And my nan, just before she died, she was skin and bones, God bless her. And you could see all her temples and her skull here. And I looked in the mirror and I must have been tripping a little bit, but I just thought I see my nan. And then I looked and thought, oh my God, Kurt, it's you. That's fucking you.
I've
And I think that morning, I can't remember, like literally days would have been weeks or months, so you don't know. But the minute I went to the doctors, just cried, you know what I mean? It was like, fucking help me. And look, I got the help I needed, you know what I mean?
You're amazing. Absolutely amazing. So just for anyone listening, that support group that you went to, I'd never heard of it before until you mentioned it on the last podcast. CA,
Cocaine Anonymous. Anyone who's struggling, you can Google CA where to find, but also on Facebook if you go in Men and Their Emotions, which is good because some people don't like to go to these organisations where you have to show their face. But Dapper Laughs' Facebook page, Men and Their Emotions, you can post anonymously, so you can say, guys, I'm suffering with this and rah, rah, rah. It's just all men only, you know. It's not a sexist thing, but it's just trying to help men that need help at the moment. And then there is 10, 20, 30 people that message you back and reply to you and say, listen, we can help you out in this sense, point you in this direction. So CA helped me out, but if you're a bit nervous to go to a group thing, first of all, you know, Men and Their Emotions on Facebook is a game changer and a lifesaver.
Amazing. Thank you. I want to ask you, we've discussed about this before. Everything that I do is all about mental health, suicide awareness, suicide prevention. Where I'm from in Ireland, unfortunately, I lost many friends to suicide. Just another one there last year. And I'm so passionate about what I do because I see the aftermath and the impact that it has on families. And I think that that's not talked about enough, about how when people go, the impact that it can have and how do we help those people. And I think you are an amazing advocate for, you've been through some shit times, and I've met your lovely father before and had the pleasure to meet him in Sugar Hut. It was a loss to the whole world. I mean, we all loved Mick.
Well, listen, he's a great man. I said to you earlier, I'll miss him so much, but I'm happy. Oh, it sounds hard because I don't want no one to commit suicide, okay? But I've got to respect my father's decision, okay? My dad would never have fucking stopped, right? He never would have stopped. He's had it multiple times that could have retired and never, anyone in his fucking great grandkids would have never had to have worked. But I don't know what he was fighting for, you know? And then after a while, look, fucking people start taking money from you here, there, left, right, you know? I don't want no one to do what my father done, but I have to take peace in what my dad done. He's now resting, you know? But it's fucking horrible, man. It's horrible. Not like it's horrible for what the family have to go through after, but that's selfish for us to say it's horrible, you know. But for what someone felt that they had to do to either take themselves away from a situation, stop hurting people, it's very sad that people go through that. And all I always tell people is, as of today, who's ever listening or watching this, you have survived 100% of your worst days. Listen, I broke up with girls, cried myself to sleep for weeks and ends, thinking, I'm never going to find a girl again, never. Not wanting to be here. But we do. We get over these things, you know. It can't rain forever. It can't, you know, and it's so hard. So it's very easy to say because I've gone through the shit and come out of it now, but you've got to white knuckle it. You've got to surround yourself with positive people because I strongly believe, and no one's at fault for my father's death. My father committed suicide. No one is at fault for his death. He took that. But I think near the end of his death, and again, I need to reiterate, it's no one's fault, but he was around very negative people. My dad used to be very positive. Someone would tell him no, he'll say yes.
Yeah.
You can't build that. Watch me. You won't be able to do that with that. Watch me. And he'd always do it because positivity always wins in my book. But then he'd be around people saying, Mick, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Don't do that. Sell that, Mick. Do that. And I believe... Again, it's no one's fault, but they changed my whole dad's persona of who Mick Norcross was. But it was my dad's fault for allowing that. You know, me, I won't have no negative people around me no more.
Yeah.
I can't have it. Friends or family, you're done. I can't have it. It's not your fault. This is my fault. I'm like a sponge, you know. I'll take in feelings around me. I have dropped so many so-called friends out since probably this year alone, 2023, you know. My motto last year was know your worth. So I wouldn't sell myself short. I've got to know my value, not financial value, of who I am. 2023 was, I ain't got time for anyone that ain't got time for me. If I choose for someone to be my friend, not choose like I'm fucking something special, if I allow my guard to drop to become a friend with someone, that's a big thing for me. I don't drop my guard for many people. People might think I do, but I don't. And when I when I open myself up for people and then I have a great friendship with these people. And then after a while, they start dropping me out and stuff. Listen, I understand people. I have quite a laid-back life. And I understand people are busy, can't fucking pick up the phone every day and this and that. But if I'm ringing you for 2-3 weeks and you ain't replying, but I can still see you out with your groups of friends eating, I'm thinking, you know what? That's you. I'm not upset with you. You're living your life the best version you want to. But I'm going to pull myself away from you. I ain't ringing you no more. You're done. I'm done because obviously you don't value my friendship. I give a lot to a friend, you know. So yeah, I've changed my ways and I've dropped a lot of people out just to better myself. You know, I would force myself on people to impress them. I used to. I want people to see me happy. I want to make people laugh, and it wasn't to make me feel good. It was. I just felt like that's what I was like a fucking jester. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, I booked myself into gigs at friend's house. Hey, let me make you laugh for an hour, you know? And I thought, Jesus, man, what are you getting off of these? You know? I remember a friend of mine that I've recently fell out with, still a really good guy. He is an honest good guy, man. But I remember I invited him and his friend out, of friends, for about a year. And he's too busy. I understand that, man. I mean, he's a very busy person. Do you want to go for a meal tonight? No, mate, I'm busy. Do you want to go for a meal next week? I can't, man. And then I sat back. I think it was beginning of this year. And I thought, you know what? I've invited these out for a good year, right? We've never gone out. But I've seen you out a couple of times a week for a year. you obviously don't want to be my friend. And that sounds so like childish for me to say.
No.
But I don't not like you for that. But I have to not be hung up on a situation. You know, I'm not going to try and be friends with you if you don't value my friendship or if you don't want to spend time with me. The people I choose to be my friends, you ring me up. If there's anything wrong, I'll be there. I don't care where you are. If I don't have my children with me, I will get there. Or if I've got my children with me and you need something, I'll ring someone up and see if I can help you in any way. You know, I always text my friends, how you doing? So, how you doing? I just want you to give me a little thumbs up, thumbs down. You know what I mean? If you want some alone time, I've got a good friend of mine. He's a very good friend of mine. And if I ring him up or I text him and he don't reply, he texts me a couple of hours later, mate, I'm having one of them couple of days. Bingo. You know what, brother? You text me when you're in a good place again, and I will go out for some grub, you know. But I really need to start focusing on myself, my love, self-love. You can never find someone to love you until you can love yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can vouch for that, you being a good friend. You've been a great friend to me.
Well, you were struggling recently, physically.
Yeah.
And I believe a little bit mentally. Can we tell everyone what you've just done?
So I have just finished a week with Wim Hof in Poland doing his winter expedition.
You just said that like, sorry, yeah, just done a week. Listen, right, what... So you was in ice baths. They were swimming pools, actually.
This is you turning the podcast around. You're too kind.
I just want to... No, honestly, because I watched you. I didn't just watch what you showed people.
You saw a lot more.
I FaceTimed you when you was at your hotel and you were in bits.
Yeah.
You know, you were in ice. What was the shortest time you had to stand in an ice bath? And what was the temperature, first of all? 7
minutes, first ice bath. And it was in a lake and it was -2. And that was straight in, and as soon as we got in they said 7 minutes, and I've only ever done ice baths up to 2 minutes.
And that probably would have been 0 degrees, 1 degree, 2 degrees.
Yeah, and then you were putting your clothes back on or going straight into the house or into your car and warming up, and we had to then stand out in the cold 10 minutes after that and warm up in just our bikini.
And you done a mountain hike.
Yeah.
In a bikini.
Yeah.
And how long did that take?
5 hours.
5 hours in your bikini.
Yeah.
And when we were speaking on the phone, like personal talks, I could sense that you were forgetting the reason you were there.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to sort of keep reminding you, saying, listen, you are going to go through some shit pain right now, but this is what you are doing to find out who Caroline McKenna is. Do you know what I mean? But I can imagine when you're there, you're like, what the fuck? Am I being tortured? I've just paid X amount of money to do this, you know what I mean? But you were doing it to find your boundaries, you know, which I'm not telling everyone to do the Wim Hof experience, but that was your journey to find out your strengths, your boundaries. And do you think they've helped?
100%. I think that it was a massive experience for me, something that you wouldn't really see online for a lot of girls to do those kind of things. And
sorry to interrupt. How many girls? So say how many men and women were there?
So the ratio was about, for every 8 men there was 2 women. So there wasn't a lot of women, and that was very intimidating to begin with.
I can imagine.
I like to push boundaries. I like to be different. I'm not a typical girl. I don't think I'm not really a girly girl as much as it might look like it. You know, I like UFC, Muay Thai, boxing, and I've always been one to like push boundaries, and it's just been. So
when you were doing that ice bath, this is how I try to. I'm going to use this analogy for friendship. So you know, when I just it was only a small gesture of me ringing you up just to say, come on, a couple more days left, push it,
and that meant so much to me because I was at breaking point when you called.
Well, see the excruciating mental and physical pain that you're going through during that Wim Hof experience. People can go through that mentally at home with trauma or anything. So when I've got friends, I know friends have their own trauma and I'll be there for them. But you know, when I'm texting a friend and they're not replying, I'm like, you've only just got to say, man, like,
I'm busy or
you know what I mean? I only want to I'll talk to my friends to check on them, or sometimes if I'm feeling really shit, say if I'm going through my own mental Wim Hof experience, I just need to speak to a friend who knows who Kirk is, so I can just vent, and it takes myself. Before it used to be drugs.
Yeah.
So when this gets too much, I'll do drugs and it goes quiet. So then what I now do is I'll ring up a friend and ask how they are. And then now I start asking them, and then it takes me out of that feeling.
Yeah.
Friendship is a drug to me. Relationships are a drug to me to an extent, you know.
Yeah.
But I think we should be there for everyone, not just friends, family, partners. I use my social media platform. Listen, I'm quite selfish with my platform. All this that I'm doing to help people, it helps me. You know, it's like my Big Brother diary room chair. It's like being with a psychiatrist. But me doing videos to help myself, hopefully I can help other people. I always tell on my social media, I am not telling anyone to do with their life.
Yeah.
But if you're struggling, feel free to use something that I've spoke about, what I've done. Because what I do when I'm not feeling great might not be helpful for what someone else. So I don't want to give someone the worst bit of advice, you know. But I'm just being me. Listen, I have a lot of flaws. I'm still like when I was in my early 20s, I was the most uncreased shirt ever. And throughout now mid-30, I'm slowly ironing them creases out. Nearly all gone. But I don't think we're ever going to iron our creases out fully, are we? You know, this is what life is. It's a journey. And I said to you earlier, can't remember what I said. It was just off the top of my head. But we don't know what's going to go on tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to go back on TV. I would love to go back on TV. Starting doing all these podcasts with you and Dapper. This is my life. I like this, okay? Not for vanity, not for money. I like this. This is what I feel I was born to do.
You're passionate about it.
Yeah, I'm passionate about just entertaining. Either it be helping someone who's struggling or making someone smile on the TV. I want to carry on with TV, and I'm going to try my best, either it be reality, acting, presenting, the big screen, you know, podcasts. I want to do it. It makes me feel good, so why should I not? But I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I don't know. I could get a call next week and say, Kirk, remember this TV show? Can you come on? So where we don't know what we're promised with, what we can now sort ourselves out is get ourselves in the right mindset to be able to deal with anything, to be able to deal with trauma, positive news. You know, if you suffer slightly with mental health, positive news, real positive news, will affect you as much as trauma. Because we don't know, we struggle with our feelings and our emotions. And both of these, trauma is the lowest you can go. Getting the best job or TV career you can, that's the biggest high you can get. So they're both uncomfortable situations. So what you've got to try and do is sort your head out.
Yeah.
And that's not for me to tell people what to do. That's for you. Mine is not a strict routine, a flexible routine. I like to get up and go for the gym or do something in the morning. I breed canaries.
Let's talk about, because
I breed canaries.
I know you showed me the other day, and I told you I have a fear of birds, and then I saw all of these birds in a cage. So talk me through Kirk's life, because we talk a lot about the mental health side of things, the addiction, but there's a whole side to you that I get excited when I see that you're calling me, because I'm like, what is he up to? You're good energy and you are a good friend, and you know, the likes of, you say about, we all make mistakes, like I've made mistakes. I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. I just didn't have a camera in my face, you know. So I think it's very hard what you've had to go through, but in our 30s, being in our 30s it's pretty amazing. Like we both talked about, you know, steering away from the party scene. Both of us don't drink.
Yes.
And I'm the happiest I've ever been. You look glowing, you know. It's just it's a nice way to be. So I want to hear about your day-to-day life. You're an amazing father as well. So what does a day in the life of Kirk look like?
Right, let's say my happy days if I've got Harry. So my happy days will be waking up with Harry. So the night before that, I'm quite clean, neat, and have to have a structure. So whatever needs to be done in the morning, I'll do it the night before. Polish Harry's shoes. My dad taught me to do that. My dad would always be polishing the shoes late at night, ready for the morning. Polish my son's shoes. I will put them near where I know he's going to eat his breakfast. I will get, what's he having for breakfast? I've had a look at that. So that's all sorted for the morning. I wake up between 5 and 6 a.m. Never set an alarm. It's just this goes, you're up now. You're up. I've got nothing to do. Well, you're up. But I wake up. My son shouldn't have to wake up till about 7, but I slowly wake him up. So this is how I wake my son up. No, sorry. So I'm awake. I jump straight into the shower. No, let's go back a little bit. The second I open my eyes, I make my bed.
Good.
You've got to make your bed the first thing.
Every day.
Because no matter whatever doesn't go right that day, you're going to go home to something that you've done.
I think people that don't make their bed are serial killers.
Definitely.
How do they not
Going
make their
into
bed?
an unmade bed.
Yeah, can go.
But so I'll wake up, make my bed, straight have a shower, downstairs, let the dog out, turn the lights on for the birds, and then now I'm like, I want Harry to slowly wake up. I want Harry to be in a good place mentally, so I want to start him off with a great place mentally. So I will open his bedroom door to let just a little bit of light on. He still likes Paw Patrol. So I'll put Paw Patrol on the TV.
Yeah.
So now he's waking up on his own accord with a noise that makes him wake up smiley.
Oh.
You know when we wake up late with our alarm, we're all panicking. We're like that. Imagine sending this poor little kid to school with all this. You know what I hate when you see a parent rushing their children to school. Hurry up, hurry up.
Yeah.
No. Your kid ain't late for school. You were late. You know what I mean? So I need to make everything smooth. For me as well, I have to have these tick lists. So Harry's breakfast. I take Harry to school. I always tell him every time I drop him off at the school door, I tell him, give him a kiss, be kind, be polite, and be thoughtful. And also, there's a teacher, I don't want to say her name, but Miss K will say, okay, but she always like, Kirk, you don't have to say that. But he is anyway.
Oh.
He is anyway, but it's because I keep telling him, be you, son, be happy, be polite, be kind. They're the little things we can teach people that will really go a long way. You know, like, we'll talk about pet peeves maybe, but just rudeness is, I can't stand it. You know, when you're at a zebra crossing and you just let someone pass, you should anyway. You should. If there's someone at a zebra crossing, let them pass. When they won't even acknowledge or wave, I'm like, you rude.
Yeah.
That's the old Kirk comes back. But anyway, drop Harry off at school, tell him how I would like him to be that day, straight to the gym, back from the gym, breakfast, clean my birds out, my canaries. So,
talk about these canaries.
So my dad used to race pigeons before I was born and when I was born, and he had a good group of friends back then. That was when I remember my dad being old school. But anyway, I always wanted him to get back into the pigeons, and he completely changed from racing pigeons. He's like, the fucking rats, vermins. I'm not having them round here. I was like, all right. So I got him. I bought him a goldfinch before, a cock, malbird, and they got a great song because he used to take it to his greenhouse. Say, take this down, because he would sit on his own. Take the bird down to the greenhouse with you, and it used to sing, and he'd like this. So then I started getting into canaries to breed them because I like the colours on them, and it's like achieving something. It's like I'm going to choose the best boy canary and the best girl canary to make the best chick.
Oh.
And I like it. There's a lot of people that I put my Insta like, oh, you got animals in cages and stuff.
No.
Look, I do understand what people say.
Yeah.
But I ain't caught these birds from the wild. They nest and they have babies. An unhappy animal wouldn't make a nest bed and eat. They'll shrivel up into a ball and die, you know. But it's a hobby. It's something that I like.
I love it.
Gardening. I love gardening. If I could retire now, all I'd like to do is breed canaries and do gardening.
Isn't it interesting how you say these things? Like, it's like, it doesn't feel like the person that's perceived on TV. Like, there's a whole other side to you that is really nice as well.
This is me. I love cleaning.
Yeah.
I do have a cleaner, but I clean before she comes.
Of course.
My dad taught me that. I remember my dad used to come into my house. We used to have the same cleaner. Fucking tidy up, you messy fucking prick. The cleaner's coming round.
Clean before they come.
Isn't that why we've got to clean? Tidy the house. I'm not having that cleaner seeing that you're living in a dirty house. I'm like, Dad, it's a coffee cup. Just clean it. I'm like, all right, I will. And they've sort of been grounded into me. With the politics, my dad, he always used to tell me, Kirk, what you're watching on the news ain't true. But it's good to know, even though people tell me don't watch the news, it's all fake.
Yeah.
I know it's fake, but it's actually happening.
Yeah.
You've got to know. I want to be a very successful businessman, and I'd like to teach my children the same. Whatever they want to do, I'm never going to push my children into doing anything. But you've got to learn who's who, what's what, what's good, what's not. And, you know, yeah, politics, I'm into politics. I'll tell you, I think the main reason I've got more into politics now, because it reminds me of my dad. Me and my dad will have discussions about the news. And yeah, so I've watched that more now. I'll sit in my dad's chair that I've got and I watch the news and I make out on my dad. On a Sunday, I do it as well. My dad used to love cheese and onion crisp and a Diet Coke. And I'd go buy a cheese and onion crisp and a can of Diet Coke and I'd sit there on his chair watching the news because I want to be my dad.
Yeah.
I want to be me as well. My dad would be proud of the man I'm becoming. But yeah, I want to be my dad. My dad's my hero. Like, he's a god to me. Like, still is. I still talk to my dad now. Look, I don't hear him from another life, you know, but he's taught me so much to be able to do this, you know what I mean? The biggest advice, best advice that my dad's ever given me that I use a lot, but sometimes my ADHD gets the better of me. But my dad always used to tell me to close my mouth and open my ears because your ears can't get you in trouble and you learn a lot more by listening.
Yeah.
You know, but I just love gardening, cleaning my house and being a dad. You know, you said it earlier. You said, Kirk, you're a really good dad. And I get a lot of that on Insta. And I really love it. I respect people saying that. But I ain't trying to be a good dad. This is all I think, this is all I know. our children didn't choose to come into this life. Okay, we chose for our children to come into our life, even if it was accident or what. We have created this baby. Okay, you've got to be the best you can to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I don't care what my kid has or hasn't got, as long as when I put him to bed, I say, "You happy?" Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. I don't care. You know, some people won't give their kids a lot of money. Some people will. That's you do you. That's your parenting. Only a parent will know what's best for their children, you know. And you know, if my son does good, I will buy him good things. If he doesn't do good things, I will tell him why he's not getting it, because he has or hasn't done this. I've got to allow him to build character as well. I do have a daughter. Unfortunately, I don't see. A lot of people say, why don't I try to see it? There's a lot more into it, you know.
Yeah.
It's quite a dangerous environment to get involved in.
Yeah.
And I
don't need to explain yourself to everybody.
I ain't putting me and my son in danger. This sounds very selfish to see my daughter. What I'm now doing is creating an amazing life. I chose I live with me and my son now and then. I chose a 4-bedroom house to buy for a reason. So when my daughter wants to find me, she's got a bedroom. My daughter doesn't have to ever want to talk to me if she wants. I understand her reasons if she ever did. But I'm willing to be a dad when she wants me to be. But at the moment, that situation is too dangerous, it's too toxic, it's nasty. I'm not getting into bed with it, mentally, you know. But I try my best to be a good man. I try my best to be a good dad. Do I shout at my son sometimes? Yeah, man. I snap sometimes, but sometimes I'll shout and snap if he's being naughty. But then sometimes I'll snap just for no reason because I'm concentrating on saying. But I'll take him away and say, Harry, what was you saying earlier? I'm so sorry for snapping.
Yeah.
I get that bit off my dad. You know, my dad would be young and going in to be watching the football. You're like, Dad, can I? Shut the fuck up, I'm watching the football! Oh, see if you wanted a drink. Do I want a fucking drink? No, I've got one. So I've got that from my dad, and I wish I didn't. You know, I've equally got all of my dad parts about me and all of his attributes as well.
Yeah.
You know, I'll never be like my dad. I think I'm probably 2.5% of the man that my father was. But yeah, you know, look, as I said, we don't know what we promised tomorrow. This is I tell everyone. See, yesterday it's done. Yeah, yesterday is done. There's no point dwelling on that because we can't get yesterday back. Tomorrow, we don't know what's going to happen. Fucking Putin can go blast us all away. We don't know. We ain't even got 2 hours. We've got now.
Yeah.
So just be happy, enjoy it. I know it's easy for me to say because I'm lucky enough to work myself to a place where I can sit a little bit comfortable at the moment. But we can't forget that there are people going through trauma, financial troubles, you know, and hopefully my social media and my platform just brings a little smile to someone now and then.
And I think it's like you saying it's easy for me to say. I don't think it is easy for you to say. You've been through a lot.
I see. You know what? I don't know if I messed up. I don't think I have. I don't think I have.
Yeah,
like it's weird. Yeah, like it's weird. Like, listen, I know what's happened. My dad, I lost my father to suicide. I found him. I was a drug addict.
But you should be so proud of yourself. Like, you've achieved a lot. It's only when you look back maybe that you can see. But like, think of that Kirk that was in his room, locked up, playing Candy Crush.
Yeah.
You know, hiding from the world. And look at you now. Like, you're using your platform to help people. And people will relate to that more than the likes of, you know, Bill Gates saying, oh, everyone can achieve things. Like, you've been through relatable things that people, you know, everyday people can relate to.
Yeah.
And
I don't want it to be like poor me, I've been through this. This was just my life and my journey. There's nothing I could have changed it or done it, you know. I didn't choose to be a drug addict.
Yeah,
obviously, I chose to do drugs for the first time, but so have other people that aren't addicts. There's people that can go do drugs one night and not touch them for a month. Good on them. I'm not telling you to do drugs or not to do drugs. Just do you.
Yeah.
You know, but listen, look, my life's my life, you know. It's no one's fault. What my dad done isn't his fault. There's no one responsible for any situations that happen in life. It's life. Like, we can't control what's going to happen to us, be it all good or bad. But what we can deal with is how we deal with it once it happens.
Yeah,
you know?
of course.
And we're only going to do that if we start to self-love and self-care. I don't mean masturbation or anything like that.
I knew. We were doing so well.
Sorry. But listen, do I have arguments with people? Monthly. Of course I do, man. Do I fall out with people? Of course I do. Is it their fault? No. probably my fault half of the time, their fault half of the time. But I'm just doing me. I will try my best not to upset people, but I might do. You know, it is. Do I have a bit of road rage now and then? Of course I do. We're human, man. We're all gonna make mistakes, and you know, there ain't no one in this world that's never made a mistake in their life. You know, and as I will repeat, as of today, you have survived 100% of your bad days. So keep going, keep trying. All you got to do is walk with your chest out and your chin up.
I love it. So, right, you seem like the full package, right? The full package. Why is Kirk Norcross single? Go on.
I can't blame other people for who I am today, but I was madly in love with a woman. I got engaged to this woman. We chose to have a child, which to be my daughter. And again, this ain't her. She was probably going through it. I don't want to badmouth no one because past is the past. But I only ever wanted to have this happy family you see on TV. And I was with this woman. I proposed to her. Wanted to spend the rest of my life with her child, and our future child. She just ended it. For once in my life, I wish I'd done something on purpose. Like either, I'm not saying I should do, but cheated or said something wrong. But I mean, it fucking scares the life out of me to let my guard down like I did with that woman again.
I can see it in your eyes. Like it's still...
I can't, I probably will, but listen, it fucking hurt. So bad, man. You can't. I've had heartache growing up, you know, from school and college and girls you might have dated in your 20s or in your mid-20s. But fuck, this pain weren't even in my heart. It made me feel sick to the point of, it was just horrible. And the buckling thing there was no reason to it. Like I used to say, why? Just tell me why. Why? So either I can take it on the chin and say, you fucks up there, Kirk, or if you tell me something that I'm not doing, I can try and do it to be a better person. Because I only can be a better person if people tell me what my flaws are. Yeah. Because we are numb to our own flaws. I believe that. You know, like a habit. People that smoke as a habit, they forget they smoke after a while. It's just habit. So people have to tell you. The minute you tell a smoker, I'm a smoker myself, I'm coming off soon. But if you tell someone, oh, that fag stinks, they think about what they're doing and they'll try and all right. So... But fucking hell, man, she broke my heart so bad, and I get scared to get myself in that situation again because I visualize everything, either it be relationship, friendship, or a work thing. You look further ahead. I look further ahead, like with a business. I'm now telling you where I want to be in 5 years. A relationship, I'm telling us, I'd like to, we do this, plan this, go here, go there, buy this house, and I'm scared to do that again, man. I'm slowly letting my guard down. Well, I let my guard down with my friends and fellas and that now, but... Yeah, I get so scared. I've had a few small relationships since my son's mother. Like last year I was dating someone and that, and I get so scared of getting hurt. The minute we have one little argument, I will push you away. And I now upset that person because of one little thing, because I'm thinking, I just get scared that my heart's going to get broke again. Yeah. But I'm realising with that, I might be breaking other people's hearts now. But yeah, I need to work on that. I need to not judge relationships from past relationships, but I'm realizing that now. Like, you know, this year I just started realizing, like, Kirk, you don't want to grow up a lonely man. And again, another reason as well, my son, if you believe in Scientology and stuff like that, you believe children until they're 8 years old, they take everything in. Good, love, bad, trauma, excitement, pain, anger, everything. They absorb it in until they're 8 years old. What they see, hear, and experience creates this person. Yeah. Okay? My son is a big part of my life. And I just want to be with him until I'm 8. Like, until he's 8, if this Scientology is true, he needs to know that all my love's for him. And then once he's 8 and his brain is functioned and stored everything he needs to, and then 8 years old, he can go to be his own character and stuff like that, then I'll probably settle down. But I'm not stopping any future relationships or not. But yeah, it does scare me, Caroline. It scares me that I'm going to get hurt again. But again, that breakup was heavily in the paper, you know, which makes it hard.
I missed all of that. I was away, but they do they say that your heart only ever breaks once, like, and it's so true. And you can tell that even though you had all those relationships before and, you know, young relationships, the one person that'll break your heart, you'll never forget it.
Oh man, it was like.
But it changes you, you know.
Yeah, it changed me. It put me on a rampage for years. You know, I was like, fuck everyone, fuck this, rah rah rah. You like, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's you can't break something that's already been broken, can you?
No, I know.
Just need to find someone to put it back together.
But she's looking right at you.
Yeah, you know. But, but again, like this woman I'm speaking about, I'm not blaming her.
No. It's just timing's everything.
Just saying it fucking done me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She might not have intentionally done that to hurt me, but she did.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not saying she's thought, well, you know what, fuck her, I'm going to get with him, say yes to a proposal, have a child, and then say, no, I don't want to be with you. I'm not saying she'd done that. That was her journey, her life. But yeah, it buckled me up and it's really affected my future relationships.
A lot of lads don't talk about breakups, and it's really nice to hear you talk about it, you know, because on my page, I went through a breakup in Australia, and I get a lot of lads that'll message me, but they'll be like, you know, please don't mention this to anyone, or
yes,
I'm struggling with a breakup from a girl. What advice would you give to any lad that is listening here that is going through a breakup? Because girls, we go straight for revenge body, right?
Yes.
That is what, like, I feel like I thrive on a breakup, even though it's shit.
Well, it's girl power and all that. They do, you know what I mean?
It's
But
like, I
some
can
girls
show
go
him.
over the top a little bit, though.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I don't
need no man ever again now.
Oh,
no man can satisfy me, so fuck all of you.
Yeah, no,
but I'm
that's
like
too
that
much.
now. But I can't blame them because I'm like, oh, she broke my heart. You're all going to break my heart.
Yeah.
Fuck off. But advice that I would give to a guy is if you've broke up and it's really hurting you, you've just got to go with the lads. Go with the lads. Go play pool, bowling, go-karting. Just reinvent yourself again. That's it. Just go out, be you, the person you was before the relationship. And look, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You know. Just go reinvent yourself. Go shopping. Buy yourself a new outfit.
Yeah.
You know, if it helps, go find a rebound.
Yeah.
That's what some people do, and I don't mean go use a girl.
Yeah.
Go date someone that might be looking for what you're looking. Do you know what I mean? But because this is me, right? To get over a girl, I need to have a physical or emotional connection with another person. Because the last you know with sex, the last you know with love, he's still in that person's hands.
Yeah.
Until you break that curse, in a sense. You know what I mean? Either it be kiss someone else.
Yeah.
Have sex. And the minute you kiss someone, you know that feeling, you get that warm feeling. You know, that warm feeling. That's makes you forget about the prior. Do you understand? You're like, oh, that was nice. I'll do more of them. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, just reinvent yourself. Go buy yourself a nice outfit. Go out there, have a laugh with the lads and try not to upset and hurt anyone.
Yeah, I love that. Love it. What about the dating scene? I know you're not really dating, but have you ever had a really bad date or a story or an ick? What is like your ex? Because I don't really go on dates, and I've gone on one date recently. For the first time in a very, very long time. I was like, I need to get out there, I need to go date. And literally within seconds of being there, I was like, no, this is not for me. It could be the shoes that he's wearing. It could be the whiff that I get. It might just even be like what he had for lunch. I can smell. I'm like, no, I'm very picky, but to the point where I actually cut off everyone and no one's ever good enough. So I need to like try and work on that and not have icks. But what is it for you? Like, what's a turn off? I know you've talked about like filters, Botox, like lips, all of that stuff, which is surprising because you've come from Essex.
Yes.
I mean, everyone's got that pretty much, you know. So what's Kirk's type?
Kirk's type. Right, you're good at editing. I need a wee. I'll come on straight after. You won't even know that we've cut. I promise you.
I need to.
Do you need a wee?
No, it's fine. I can wait. Go.
It's that large coffee I had. Sorry, guys. Right, icks with a dating or relationship. So I'm on a dating app. I don't go out. So it's hard for me to meet people. So probably Instagram people will get talking or dating apps. And filters really buckle me up. They buckle me up. Why? Like, I've seen girls, like, because I ask girls, I'm quite forward, can you send me a picture of you now? Not a naughty picture. And I'm not saying that the girl, when they send me a picture of them now, is unattractive, but I'm straight up with them. I was like, well, who's the person in your pictures then? Well, it's me. I'm like, it isn't. Like,
Yeah.
if I see your Instagram and went on a date with you, You're not the girl that I started talking to. Even though both might look attractive. I don't know why. It's real pet hate of mine.
Yeah,
but,
fair.
People...
have you gone on a date with a girl where you've been chatting to this filtered version and then you get there and you're like... Because some of my friends have gone on dates like that where they're like, that's not... I've been catfished.
I had a girl come to my house and it wasn't for sexual things. Like, it wasn't... I like to meet girls either their house, my house, if they're comfortable, because...
You're a wee hermit.
I'm a hermit, and I feel really comfortable in my house. Like I haven't been on TV in fucking years, man, but I still get a load of people looking and talking and stuff. I can't blame them. I was in the public eye, so if they want to look and talk, that's good on them. You know what I mean? That's them. But if I go meet a girl on a blind date, or not even a blind date, on a date, and I don't know them, and I'm in a restaurant, I'm thinking they're looking at me over there. They're talking about me. I can hear the word Essex, Mick, and Dad, and I'm like, I need to concentrate on you. Yeah. I'm here to find out who you are. Do you know what I mean? And I want to be relaxed for you to see the real Kirk, not some like fidgety person. You're going to think, who's this crank? So I either say, look, we'll meet for coffee in the day. Coffee houses are quite relaxed, aren't they? Or come around mine. But anyway, so I was talking to a girl on a dating app, and I said, and she lived local. Looking at her pictures, very attractive girl. Yeah. You know, and it's not all about looks, but obviously.
Yeah, it's a first connection.
It's the first connection, isn't it? I'm like, she's very attractive. Given my address, I answered the door. I was like, fuck.
What was it?
Like, obviously knew it was. I mean, there was if it could have been someone else. I promise you.
Stop.
It's like a good-looking girl being chatting me up on a dating app and then sent a fucking ugly friend round.
No way.
I'm not lying. Listen, it sounds horrible to call someone ugly, but listen, some people might say I'm ugly. Like, there's what I think's ugly, but I mean, like,
what did you do?
I wanted to shut the door, but I felt rude. You know what I mean? I felt really rude. So I'm like,
shit.
Oh, this is happening.
You have to entertain.
So I sat in and.
And I feel like you're pretty honest. Like, you say things to me, like, in the nicest way. But did you say to her, like, you don't look like your pictures?
No, I didn't have the bottle until she went home, and I messaged her and said it. So I just I chilled.
Did you kiss her? Bet you did.
No. I'll give her a kiss on the cheek when she come in. Okay. Hello, nice to meet you, and a kiss on the cheek, goodbye.
But like polar opposites, like totally like.
No, like literally. You know, like imagine two sisters. One is really good looking, and one's really ugly.
Shit.
The good looking sister's been chatting me up on a dating app and then sent her ugly sister around my house. Like, but the conversation was good. That's why I invited her around, by the way, not her looks. And I still might have.
Yeah.
If she didn't
do that.
The conversation was good. She was she like I say, she was ugly compared to the person she posted. But if I never see this filtered version, right, I'd be like, she's pretty or normal, but she's got great conversation. And but when she messaged, I said, listen, look, I don't want to talk to you no more, because of that. And look, people might not agree with me because that is straight up catfishing. Mm-hmm. That is not right. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, dates. What do I do on dates? I try and make people laugh. You know. You only laugh if you're relaxed, unless it's a nervous laugh. But you only laugh if you're relaxed, and you know, I think attraction is the first initial thing that pulls two people together. But if you're going to marry this person and grow old with them, the looks will fade. So laughter is something that will last forever. A sense of humour is something that will last forever. So that's what I try to put in. You know. Someone
told me you should fall in love with someone's eyes because they never change. I thought that was quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got nice eyes.
But yeah, my big icks are people like sort of blowing me out, like in a sense of, like, so say if I'm quite conscious in my appearance and stuff like that. I don't feel attractive when I wake up. Do you know what I mean? I really don't.
How do boys look the same all the time?
I don't. I'll wake up if I'm just got my pajamas on. I feel like a horrible, ugly slob. Do you know what I mean? Or if I've got my top off, I feel like a fucking mess. Yeah. So if I know I've got a date or I'm meeting someone, I'll go have a shower. I've just had a hair transplant, so it's growing back. But I'll do my hair. I'll tidy my house up, or change my bed sheets, or do whatever. You know, really go out. And they're like, phone's off. They're coming round, and then like the next day, oh sorry, something happened. I went out with my mates instead. Fuck you.
Yeah, fair.
Fuck you. But listen, there's a lot of. I'm very childish when I'm out in public. We walked here together, so you know what I'm like. But
I like it. It's funny.
You know, I got that from my granddad. My granddad, he's a big old wind-up. But
Playful. It's like you don't take life too serious.
I don't, you know, and yeah, but I haven't.
What about, have you, like, because I'm a very good reader on energies, like even just friendships. If I meet someone, within the first few minutes, I know if they're genuine or not.
Yeah.
Have you had a few of those where you're like, she's wanting to date Kirk Norcross here?
Oh yeah. Like I more on my Towie days and my, let's say, my dad's money days. You know what I mean? Because listen, I was earning good money when I was on Towie.
Yeah.
But because I had a wealthy father, they just assumed it was my dad's. I could go out and buy myself a car then.
Yeah.
I went out and purely to prove to everyone I had money. This was fucking ridiculous when I bought a Ferrari. Stupid. But so many people were giving me stick. Stop living off your fucking dad. You don't know about life. You haven't got a clue about working hard. I went and bought myself a car just to prove it. I didn't even like the car. It was shit, you know. But anyway, yeah, I've had people that I felt have dated me for the wrong reasons, that probably want to talk about blue ticks and Instagram followers and stuff like that. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But I would love to be going back on TV, but not for the fame. It ain't for the fame. It just makes me feel good. But I've had people interested in me. But listen, I might be interested in girls for one reason as well. You know, sometimes, say if I'm single or something, I'm like, I would love to have sex with that girl or something. You know what I mean? It ain't just girls using me, or I mean, girls in a whole using guys, and we do it as well. Do you know what I mean? There might be a girl with, you know, I love her lifestyle and that, you know, and just go with the flow, just because you might love her lifestyle. But I'm easily fooled in love. You know, with like business and friendship, I can see like you're a shrewd little fucker. I can tell what you're trying to do. You're gonna have me pants down. You know what I mean? But when it comes to love, I'm like, oh, what, you don't care about TV money or anything? Are you sure? But straight away they're on Insta like this. Yeah. But yeah, well, look, with the Botox, with the plastic surgeon stuff, that to an extent, you know what I mean? Like, you want your lips plumped? Go get them for you. You know what I mean? You want some filler in your cheeks? You want your boobs done? Do what you've got to do. I prefer natural girls with no makeup. Truly, I really do. But I also want a girl to feel confident in herself. Yeah. So if makeup makes you feel but you know the big lips? Yeah. The big lips.
They're horrendous.
This is okay if it's big. Now girls are starting swelling from here. Yeah. What the fuck's going on with that? It's not attractive to me. Back in the day it did. Because you know why though? People assume that that's what I like. And I can't blame them, because when I lived in Essex, everyone in Essex, it was a fashion statement. Botox lips, big fake boobs. So that's the only girls that I was meeting. Yeah. Because that was the only girls that I see. I worked in a nightclub in the day, and I worked in a nightclub at night. They were the only girls that would come into the clubs that I'd probably see, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't have a type. And I don't know, should I try and find a type to help or not? I feel if you have one type, you're going to miss so many opportunities. Do you know what I mean?
Wise words, Kirk.
You are, you know what I mean? If you're like, I like dark-haired girls, green eyes or whatnot like this, there's going to be other girls that you could potentially be a soulmate with. You know what I mean? That's why with star signs, I'm into but not into. Do you know when people says, I can only go out with a Pisces or stuff like that? I'm thinking, I'm a fucking Taurus. We would have been great together. You know what I mean? Like, don't get stuck in one thing. Do you know what I mean? But you know, because a look ain't gonna be what they're like. You know what I mean? As you said, you've still got to fancy your partner. You've got to fancy your partner. But I want to fancy my partner when she's just rolled out of bed. Yeah. You know, wearing one of my t-shirts. You know. Yeah, it's weird. I've got weird. Like, listen, this is where I'm at with dating. I've had a vasectomy. I can't have any more children, but I don't want any more children either. I have a son. I have a daughter from 2 separate relationships. I'd like another kid. Truthfully, I would, but it wouldn't be fair on my children. This is how I feel, to bring a third child from a third relationship into the spectrum. I don't think that'd be fair on my children. You know. So I got to find someone that doesn't want kids, or either has kids and doesn't mind taking on someone else's kids. I get worried sometimes that I'm going to meet someone who hasn't got kids. We fall for each other, and their love will overtake their biological clock. Now, listen, I love you so much, I won't have kids. Yeah. I'm like, are you sure, man? Because I know 5 years down the line, when your biological clock starts ticking, I can't stop a woman wanting to bear a child. And you've got every right to then walk away and leave me. But then there's me now. 5 years down the line, I'll be 40 and the love of my life is taken away. So to find a woman that knows for a fact she doesn't want children, like it's hard. I've got my children to think of. I don't want my son to think anyone's replaced him. My son's a lot like me, I feel. And when my dad had another child, I don't know how old I was. I might have been between 10 and 14. I can't remember. But I felt shit, man. I thought like, weren't we enough? It wasn't the truth.
Yeah.
That wasn't the truth. But I was like, well, I weren't enough. I started rebelling. You know what I mean? I start rebelling. You know, if I find enough here, let me get your attention. I want you all on me. I don't want my son to feel not loved at all. You know what I mean? But he will learn. I've told him. I said, Harry, you know, one day Daddy will have a girlfriend, and he'll spend. You don't need one, Dad. You've got me. I said, listen, you are my number 1, 2, and 3 always, and I will tell any girl that I meet. My children. Look, I say son because I'm with him predominantly. My daughter, I don't know, unfortunately. I say to my Harry, you're my 1, 2, and 3 right now. No one's going to overtake you. A girl has got to accept me, accept that my children come first. But when I start to fall in love with someone, it won't be my son 1, 2, and 3, then my partner 4. I can't even hold my fingers. See how many times I broke my hands? I can't even hold my fingers. But it will be my family. Will be my 1, 2, 3, and 4. You understand? You know, there's not going to be no second places for anyone. But as I said, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But I might have already met the love of my life. I might meet her whenever. So I just need to be in a good place to meet a good person. You understand?
Yeah. You're a good person, Kirk.
Thank you. Did we just fall in love? I'm joking.
Already did. Finally, what is next for you? You say you want to go back on TV. It'd be really nice to see you know, the older, mature Kirk.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do in the next few months?
I would like, you know what? I would love to try to go back on The Only Way Is Essex. I really would.
I'd love to see it.
That was home to me. Not just the filming, the production team, the sound men, the camera crew, like when they'd mic you up, having that little conversation with them. Because I never watched reality. Even when I was on The Only Way Is Essex, I never watched it.
Yeah.
I'm not on it to watch myself. I liked who don't want to be in cameras and bright lights and everything like that, you know? It was good. I could be the flamboyant Kirk that I like to be, the boy that I was born to be, do you know what I mean? Love to do Towie. You know what? If they ever asked me back on, I'd love that, you know what I mean? I am in the best place I've ever been in my life. Like, nothing can ever change the way I am now. I would like to go on Celebs Go Dating. I've not watched it, but will they teach me how to date?
No, I think you're pretty much thrown in the deep end, and yeah, which makes it funny because your reactions are genuine. So if you like someone, if you get a girl with big lips and all the rest, I would find that entertaining to watch because.
Yeah, it's not me. Well, if I could say, what would you like to do? I'd like to do Towie. I'd like to do podcasts. I really would. I've always wanted to do acting. I've done a small, tiny extra role in a film before, and that was really fun. I'd like to be able to be given the opportunity to audition for more films.
You're also a good singer, which
no, I'm not a good singer.
Yeah,
the studio are just great what they can do to my
Look
voice.
up the YouTube videos.
I like singing it. I don't care if I'm good or bad.
Great.
It makes me happy. But just TV in general, media, I love it. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to do. I've got so many synopses in my phone from like early 2000, no, from like 2010, 2015 of synopses of ideas of shows that I've written. You know, I've written a good one about ADHD and me, but it's not about me. It's about ADHD and other people. But I just need that one more break. Look, I can't blame TV for not wanting me on. I'm not saying they don't want me on, but I can't blame them because all the spill that I've been in the paper for the last years. Oh, I'm upset. I'm depressed. I don't want to be here. I'm on drugs. It was just me voicing my opinion at the time, you know. I just need to be given that one opportunity to go back on TV to show people the real Kirk. No one's ever seen the real Kirk on TV.
Yeah.
They've never seen it. They've never seen it. Not because I was acting or faking before. I didn't know who I was then. So I'd like to do, my ideal world would be The Only Way Is Essex, just because it was home. The Only Way Is Essex. celebs go dating just because I think it'd be funny. I don't know how to date. I don't think it'd be funny. Do you know what I mean? And dancing on ice, I'd love that. I love ice skating anyway.
I could see you in a pink leotard.
I have one. It's on here. No, I'd like to. I just, you know what? Whatever's thrown at me, I'd like to give it a good go.
I think you're going to do big things this year. I think there's a reason why we connected, and it's because your voice is being heard this year. And you're helping a lot of people.
That's all. All I want to do is be the happy, good version of me. Because I always used to quick thing my good friend of mine, Sean, who really gave me a good bit of advice that helped. So I always put Harry was my number one. Like everything was about my son. Everything. I got to do this for Harry. I got to do this for Harry. I got to do that. This, buy that, get that. And then I was speaking to my pal Sean, and I was telling him, like, yeah, I'm doing this for my son. He goes, Kirk, you're your number one. No, my son is, mate. You haven't got kids, you don't understand. He fucking did understand. He said, Kirk, if you're going to put anyone before you, you forget to look after yourself. So slowly, you don't become yourself, and you become a bad version of yourself, and you won't be able to look after your son. So since I have put myself first, my routine first, doing what I love, speaking about what I want to speak about, I generally think I've become a better dad as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm becoming a better person. I was like, you know what, Sean? I think I spoke to him recently, and I'm not sure if I told him or thought it. I can't talk to him like I love to talk to him emotionally, but he's a good straight guy. Like, but I want to sincerely, that advice really helped me in life, because I'd put my friends and family before me.
Yeah.
But that made me a horrible person because I forgot what I love. So yeah, I don't think he would ever listen to this, but Sean really gave me a good, wholesome bit of advice. But TV, media, give me the opportunity to be back on, and I want to show the world who I am.
I'm looking forward to it. Watch this space. Kirk, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure, and well done for everything you've done.
Thank you.
From teaching in Kent to Australia to the ice bar things to the podcast that you're doing. You just make people smile.
Thank you.
That's like, in a nutshell, that's what you're doing. And yeah, well done.
Thanks, Kirk. Besties.
Forever.
Thank you. That was lovely.
Like it?
You're
I started
so
interviewing
good.
you sometimes.
I loved that. I was like, you're doing it, but I was happy to do that. That was amazing. Can I
look
ask
a bit
you,
like what's his name? The guy that killed himself from Linkin Park, Chester. Don't know with that.
just in that bit there, I was thinking you looked like someone in a movie. Do you mind taking a wee picture of us sitting here?
Do you mind starting that again? Can we do it one more time?
I've been dying to go to the toilet for the last 20 minutes.
Oh, I went.